Do not buy a home in St. John's, Florida without knowing these 5 things. Now, before deciding if St. John's, Florida or anywhere else is a good fit for you and your family, there's tons of things you need to know. But when our team is working with buyers relocating from other parts of the country or maybe even other countries, these are the 5 things that come up the most often that I feel like you need to know before making an informed decision about whether you should come here and about a specific home, whether it'll work for you and your family or not. So without further ado, let's jump in. Number 1, what does the home back up to and what does the property include? Don't think that you can just go with a naked eye, even in a subdivision with like small yards, that you automatically can tell where everything is and what's included with the property. That's absolutely not the case. For instance, now I'm not involved in it. My team had nothing to do with it. I just know about it. There's a home in a community where I live in that was recently sold. Okay, great. And when the now owners, then buyers, when they went to the house had a swimming pool. It had a big, like 20-foot wide paver deck. It had a fence across the back of the property. Everything looked fantastic. And again, it's like in a subdivision where it's pretty clear where the lot lines are. So, and I don't know if they got a survey, they didn't. But what happened is after the sale, somebody from the HOA happened to be on Zillow or realtor.com or something, and they noticed it, and they said, hey, wait a minute. That paver deck, a lot of it is actually on land owned by the Homeowners Association, and that back fence is definitely on land owned by the Homeowners Association. So I'm not involved in it. I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to get involved in it. But what I am going to say is I've heard of this happening more than once, where people got to the home, they assumed that what looked like the backyard is the backyard, only to find out that it really isn't the backyard. Encroaches on other people's property. So if what I hear is correct, then what's going to happen is the new owners are going to have to remove that fence, re-fence the back of the property, and they're going to have to remove the paver deck that wasn't cheap to build and that they definitely paid for in the price of the home. So number 1, get a survey. Number 2, what is actually behind your home? And again, don't assume that you can see, just look at it and tell. I'll give you 2 examples recently. Number 1, I was with buyers, and this has happened several times. I am with buyers, we're meeting with the site agent, and we're at a home that's under construction. Great. We look in the backyard and we see, like preserve. We see woods in the back. Nice. The site agent tells us that it backs up the preserve, and of course there's a premium for backing up to a preserve as opposed to backing up to another house. Okay. Well, what I found out later was when I went on the county website, and no, my buyer didn't buy this home, but what we found out is that about 10 to 15 feet of it was preserve. But beyond that, it was zoned for multifamily housing. So what does that mean? Now, you couldn't tell by looking at it. When you're back there, there's no survey markers, there's no anything back there, just woods. And there's no clear divider between the back of the preserve and what would become multifamily housing. So whoever bought that home paid a premium to back up the preserve, and in the next year or 2, most likely they're going to be looking at multifamily housing behind their home. Another thing that recently happened, again, this is a resale. This is a community that sold out a long time ago. The homeowners, many of them, back up the preserve. Well, there's one section of the neighborhood where instead of backing up the preserve, now they're looking at a storage unit. They're looking at a Dollar General and a coffee shop and a few other things. So how do you think that's going to affect the resale of their homes? And what they could have done, and I'm not blaming anybody, but what could have happened was they could have gone on the county map that you see here, and they could have just checked, okay, who owns behind this lot, and then who owns the other thing, and what is it zoned for? It's still not 100%, but at least would have given you an idea of what could be coming in the future and whether it's a smart idea to buy that home or not. So that's the number 1 most important thing, and I could give you example after example. In fact, I could just make a video on things that I've seen happen. So the short version of that is, number 1, get a survey when you're buying a home, even if you're paying cash and you're not required to. And then number 2, make sure you know what your property backs up to and what's the zoning, call the county, make sure that there's nothing coming that, if there is it something that is acceptable to you. Number 2, this only applies to the master plan communities, but if you're buying into a master plan community, you're going to get fabulous amenities. Like Nocatee, for instance, has the splash park and the spray park and all these community pools spread throughout the community. And Silverleaf also has their amenity center, getting ready to open their second one. But you may want to ask 2 questions. Number 1, who also has access to this. So they've been building Nocatee for years, and they're actually getting ready to finish construction on the last new construction communities. Great. Well, so people have been moving in there for years and years. And somewhat recently, they've started building lots of apartment complexes. And it created a big stir because some of the amenities are already getting crowded as it is. And now you have hundreds, if not thousands, of more people using the amenities in these apartment complexes that the original residents may not have known was actually ever in the plan and ever coming. So yes, you know the amenities, but know who actually has access to them. And the second part of that is make sure that you have access to them. For instance, in Silverleaf, I can think of two communities. One is a townhome community. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a townhome community built by D.R. Horton Homes. And again, they're all built out. They're sold out and gone. But even though it's geographically in Silverleaf, if you purchase a home in that community, you do not have access to the Silverleaf amenities that all the communities around you enjoy, or many of them. Another one would be Reverie in Silverleaf. Now, this isn't true of all Reverie communities, but in Reverie, if you're not familiar with it, it's a 55-plus community built by Dreamfinders Home. That's their 55-plus brand. And in Silverleaf, the residents of Reverie Silverleaf do not have access to the amenities that many of the other Silverleaf residents get, which may be fine because they actually have their own amenities. But my point is, before signing the dotted line, make sure you know and verify, don't just take somebody's word for it, what amenities will you have access to and who else has access to those amenities. Okay, next up, now this mainly applies to resales, which yes, our team does new construction and resales or helps buyers with them. But with resales, when you first go under contract, you have your inspection period. And that is when there's other periods that go into it too, like the financing period, maybe if you're getting financing. But during that initial inspection period, our team always brings a homeowner's insurance agent into the mix early on. And why do we do that? Well, number one, a couple of things. When you're getting the inspection done, you may benefit from getting a 4-point inspection or a wind mitigation. These are similar inspections. Our home inspectors that we refer, they don't work for us. We don't take any kickbacks from them. We just provide them to you as a courtesy for working with us. But they can also do these other inspection reports too. And sometimes it'll actually save you money by getting them done. The other thing that you need to find out is, was there any previous claims? And we can't rely on the sellers. One, they may not know if it was a previous owner. And two, they may not be telling the truth. And so if there's previous claims at the home, you may want to know what those were, because it could affect you getting homeowner's insurance, and it could affect when you sell the home, your buyer getting insurance. The other thing that comes up often is hot water heaters needing to be replaced and roofs. I could do more videos on just homeowner's insurance, so I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit trail. But just know if the home is coming up on a roof that's nearing the end of its life expectancy, or the water heater, the insurance companies may want you to replace it, or they won't write insurance, or if they do, I'm not going to get overly technical, but it's good to get the insurance agent involved early in the transaction while you're still in the inspection period. And that's why we do it. Number 4. Okay, so the fourth thing that I feel like you need to know is, what are the possible future commercial developments or new neighborhoods that are coming in that aren't necessarily like right behind your house, but they affect it. And here's why. It's not uncommon for buyers when they're relocating to St. John's, Florida, to tell our team, hey, I don't want to be more than 30 minutes from my work. Okay, great. Or whatever it is for you. Fine. So you want to be within 30 minutes of your work. And we find a home, and it's, using Google Maps or whatever, kind of determine that it's right around there. Okay, great. So you buy the home. Well, then, they build a school along your route to work. And that school has, the school zones are flashing while you're commuting to or from. Well, that's obviously going to add to your commute time. So you definitely want to know, like, you could buy a home now, and there's rampant growth going on in St. Johns County. So it's definitely important. But you could have like new developments coming in. You could have new traffic lights coming in. You could have schools coming in. All these things can add to your commute time, and may affect whether or not you want to buy that particular home or not. So that is something else that I would definitely look at. Potential, and you may not know everything, but at least get a good idea of what could be built between where you live and the things that are important to you, like work, family members, things like that. Last but not least, this may or may not apply to you. If you're buying a home in a 55 plus community, then don't worry about this one. But for everybody else, even if you don't have kids, you may want to consider what schools this particular home is zoned for and how that could change. Now, there's a link to a website down below where you can put in any residential address in St. John's, Florida, and it'll tell you the schools that home is currently zoned for, either for the current school year and the upcoming in case that changes. But you can also go on the county's website or when you're looking around in the county maps and see where the school board owns property to get an idea of future schools that are coming. So there's a couple reasons why this is important. Number one, let's say you don't have children and so you don't really care about the schools. Well, you're going to care about them because what's going to happen at some point, I know everybody says it's their forever home, they're never leaving, but the fact is life changes and sometimes you do have to sell your home at least sooner than you were anticipating. Well, if the schools that your home is zoned for are not popular with parents, or you may not be able to sell that home or you may have to sell it at a discount because schools are super important to the majority of buyers moving to this county, I would say. I don't have a scientific proof of that, but I just know from our team working with so many of them, I know schools oftentimes come up. So it may affect your resale of your home. Case in point, there's a neighborhood called Beacon Lake. Now, they are building the new school there. It should be up and running the next school year. So everything I'm saying is about to go out the window for this community, other than as an example. Beacon Lake is a great community. It has wonderful amenities. It's really popular. It's right off 210. It's a little west of Nocatee. So if you saw Nocatee and it's just like, it's too big, or you just want something smaller, a little less expensive, then Beacon Lake's a good option. But the problem is for some of the students there, they have to drive a far distance away from the community, and that definitely affects resales because, people find the home, they're interested in it, they look at the school it's zoned for, like, well, wait a minute, I got to drive all the way out here to go drop my children off and then go pick them up again? I don't got time for that. So then they move to a different community, a similar community where the schools are closer. Now, again, that's going to be taken care of in Beacon Lake because they're about to have a K-8 school right inside the community. So it's going to go away soon. But for right now, that's something to consider. And so you definitely want to look at where the school, what schools is this particular home zoned for? What is the ratings? And is there any new schools coming? Like, for instance, in Silverleaf, the county owns land out there, and if they haven't already, at some point, they will start a kindergarten through 8th grade academy. Nocatee, for instance, how many schools are there? There's 3 K-8 academies, and I believe they're getting ready to start a 4th one in Seacrest. So, so that's coming in there too. So you definitely need to know the schools that are coming and what the schools are currently zoned for. And again, we have a link down below where you can check any county. Now, it doesn't go too far into the future, but if you want to see what a particular home is zoned for, that link is down below. So there you have it. Those are the top 5 things I feel you need to know before selecting a home here in St. John's, Florida. That'll leave anything out, throw a comment down below. Obviously, if you're looking to relocate to Northeast Florida and you want to make it a smooth transition, give us a call, shoot us a text, the number's down below. And also, we have a relocation guide that we have put together. The QR code is on the screen, or you can click on the link down below for that too. And not only will you get the relocation guide that we put together, you'll also get a weekly email that we send out to everyone who is subscribed. And it's not just real estate stuff. It's, what's going on in the community. There's links to search for homes. There's real estate updates. There's all kinds of things on there. So if you're trying to find out more about St. John's, Florida, it could be a great resource for you. So that's all I have for you. My name is Andrew Michael. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to meeting you in person. Take care.